Going on, people, we are Tottenham TV. Spurs have drawn by 2-2 against Roma in the fifth Europa League game. Spurs have now dropped outside the top 8 in the Europa League as well in the group phase after winning 3 out of our 3 first games, followed by a loss against Galatasaray with a very youthful side. And today was a very strong side, Tottenham side playing against Roma at home. And you know what? For the first half, we played pretty well for the most part. You know, we took the lead early with a Sonny penalty. Really well won by Pape Matar. Then after that, we kind of like reverted into our shells a little bit, and Roma really came at us. They got their goal. They got another goal, which was called for offside, and they were really on top. And then Spurs really did take initiative in the game and took control of the game. We got our goal, and we probably should have had a whole lot more, to be honest, before the end of that first half. And I think that's ultimately what's ended up killing us in this game, because we couldn't come out in the second half. Towards the end, they were building up pressure, and the pressure finally told, and they got their goal. But it's always going to be a tale of missed chances, because that game should have been put to bed in the first half.
Yeah, we should have been out of sight with the level of chances we created before the last 15 minutes or so. I think Ange will be very frustrated with how profligate we were in front of goal, and decision making sometimes, especially we had like a 4-on-2 at one point. You know, we've got to be making a chance out of that. Obviously, Solanke hit the bar late on as well. You know, Solanke had that shot when he should have just laid it into Maddison. These moments obviously ended up making the difference. I think we played some beautiful football at times. Started the game really strongly, as you say. Papsar getting that penalty in the first 5 minutes. But to be fair, after that period, Roma did definitely get back in the game. Dybala was running the show. He was picking up all sorts of positions, and we really struggled to contain him. And he ended up assisting Ndika for the equaliser with a really good free kick. He obviously had that little dink to El Shawari, who volleyed it home, but luckily for us, he was offside. One of 3 offside goals that Roma did have on the day. And it looked like Roma were getting into the ascendancy, but Tottenham did respond in that first half. Brilliant team goal between Sarr, Decky and Brennan Johnson. And once we took the lead, as you say, lots of chances. Brennan had a shot off the line. Decky, Solanke had the follow-up, which was saved. Decky then hit the post. Son hits the rebound over the bar. And at that point, you know, it could have been a case of how many at that point. And going in at 2-1, it was disappointing, because you know we should have been a lot further ahead. We didn't really come out in the second half in the same way, albeit, again, we did have chances in that second half. I think we did contain Roma fairly well for large parts of that second half, albeit they were definitely the ones putting pressure on us in terms of possession. They were finding all sorts of spaces out wide. We did struggle to contain the wing-backs, Angelino and Celik, and then it was Zaluski who came on. They were getting a lot of space, and they were able to create lots of chances. They'd had 2 goals ruled out for offside, I think both from Dovbeek, which, you know, we got away with on a couple of occasions. One of them looked extremely tight. The other one was very much fairly offside. But I thought, on about the 65-minute mark, we did have a bit of a second wind, and we did start. I think Maddison came on, came on. Decky moved out wide, and Basuma came on. I thought had a really good cameo when he came on, and I thought we had a bit of a second wind, and we started to create chances again. But we didn't punish them. As I say, you know, Solanke should have slipped in Maddison. Solanke then hits the bar after a brilliant ball from Archie Gray. So we had a couple of moments to really kill them off, and we didn't. And then last 10 minutes, we were just putting ourselves in trouble. We were inviting the pressure. Porro, I think, set the tone for those last 10 minutes with a back pass with his header back to Forster, which nearly cost us, and forced a save out of Forster. They then, in the last minute, had a brilliant chance from a corner. Mancini's volley swiveled, and a brilliant tip over from Fraser Forster. Looked like it got Tottenham 3 points, but we switched off from the resulting corner. Salamakers plays it down the line to Angelino. He plays the ball across the face to goal, and Hummels gets that equaliser in the last minute, and it was reward for the pressure they put on us in those last 10-15 minutes. And that'll be very disappointing for Ange Postecoglou that we couldn't see out the game. We didn't manage the game as best we could probably in those last 10 minutes. And I think a draw is probably a fair result.
I just felt like there was just so much panicking from the players, not just in the second half, but even in the first half when Roma were on top for those 10-15 minute periods. So many sloppy passes playing through the lines from the likes of, Rodrigo Bentancur, Pap Sarr, Pedro Porro, these guys, and maybe not Sarr, but, sloppy passes on a consistent basis. And it was really frustrating. Once we did get a hold of the game and we were on top, we were dynamite. We really were dynamite in that first half with the likes. Brennan Johnson was brilliant, Sonny was brilliant, and Kulusevski was near unplayable. I mean, these three players, they were just taking the game to Roma. They didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to handle it. And it's just such a shame that we didn't get more goals towards the end of that first half. I said it at the time. I said it in the watch along. We don't want half time here. The longer this goes on, the more likely it is we're going to score because we were really in our groove. Halftime did come and we just can never find that same kind of momentum, that same rhythm in our play in the second half. And I thought Brennan was quiet in the second half. Kulu was quiet in the second half. Sonny was also a bit quiet in the second half. The only players I would think that really improved from the first half to the second half was maybe Dom Solanke, who I thought definitely improved because I thought he was actually poor in the first half. And Bentancur, who I thought improved as well in the second half. But apart from that, you're looking at our attacking players, they all went kind of missing in that second half. And it was really frustrating because the game was there for us to be won. We had them. And we just let the game slip us by. And Pedro Porro in that second half, the amount of times he was giving the ball away, oh my God, it was so frustrating. There was one moment where he tried to pass it back to Fraser Forster, and that was nearly a goal. And just time and time again in that second half, Pedro Porro was just playing us into trouble, and it was just so frustrating, man.
Yeah, and look, it's not like Roma didn't have chances. They did have some moments for sure, even before the equaliser, that they could have got back in the game. It was definitely coming in those last 10 minutes. We didn't manage the game well enough, and I think there's a myriad of reasons. Probably, I think inviting too much pressure on us. I think in the final third as well, chances to kill the game off, and it just seemed as though we thought 2-1 was enough, and we were sometimes weren't picking the right options, a bit too casual when those chances fell to us, and we paid the price for missing those chances. We had an XG on the day of 3.6, which is very high. With that level of chances, we should be putting a lot more of them away. But on the flip side, we did also concede an XG of 2.36, which shows Roma also had their chances and also were creating lots of chances themselves. So I think it's a tale of not killing off the opposition yet again for Tottenham, and it's a tale of not managing the game as best we could, I feel. And I thought the subs came on and brought a bit more energy into the game, but we panicked a bit in those last 10 minutes. We didn't play our football, and we allowed Roma back into the game. And to be fair to Roma, I'll give them credit, 'cause I thought they did play well on the day, and they came to our ground, and obviously Ranieri did get a bit of a reaction from them, and they were playing some good football. They were tough to play against. They were quite creative in the front third, and they're so wide with their wing backs, and they were tough to contain. But I thought in the most part, when we were in our periods where we were being composed on the ball and playing through Roma, they couldn't really contain us, and we were opening up at will, it seemed, and we have created so many clear-cut opportunities to kill the game, and I think we rue those missed chances, unfortunately, and the consequence of that is we have dropped out the top 8, and now it's a massive game against Rangers, because Rangers sit at one place above us now with that, and we go away to them in the next game, so it's really a big game to get back into that top 8 now for us.
It is. I just feel like we got what we deserved today. We really did. Like, you can't just play well for 25 minutes. Like, let's be real, right? Over the stretch of 90 minutes, we only played well for about 25 minutes of that game. And you can't play well just for 25 minutes and expect to take the 3 points. Like, Roma came with a game plan. I think they put it out really well, and you got to give credit to them. They got what they deserved with the way they kept going, kept belief, and they were putting us under increasing pressure, and that pressure told. We got 100% what we deserved. We should have got it on the deck. We should have been calm. We should have been measured, and we just weren't. We were just erratic. We were panicking. We were just, I don't know what we were doing. We were just really poor in that second half, and there's just no correlation to the performance in the second half to what we were showing in the last 20 minutes of the first half. There's just no correlation whatsoever, and this team, man, just really frustrates me how well they can play, and then how much of a drop-off they can show week by week, and even in game as well. So I think we totally got what we deserved today.
Yeah, I think a draw is a fair result. I don't think we can complain about the result we got, despite the chances we created. As I say, Roma created a number of chances themselves, and I think in the later stages of the game they were pushing, and we struggled to deal with that on occasion. And I think they put us under too much pressure in the end, and it told. You could see that goal coming just before we conceded. Forster had to make a brilliant save, and I guess we should chat about Forster because, you know, it's his first game as a de facto number one for the time being. And I thought he played quite well on the day.
Yeah, he did well. He did well. I've got no real complaints about Fraser today. I don't think the goals that we scored he could have done with. Obviously, the second one's an open goal at the back post. The first one is a really good header. I don't think he could have done much with. Even the goals that were offside, I think one of them maybe he was a bit poor for, but the other two I think were good strikes. So yeah, I got no problem with Forster. Who I actually really want to praise today is Big Daddy Davis. I thought Davis stood up for the team for the majority of the game. I probably put him as our man of the match today. I think that's how highly I rate him. And you know what? It's a weird situation with Ben Davis because I'm seeing a lot of love and a lot of praise coming for Ben Davis, and it's taken like 10 years for Spurs fans to actually appreciate him.
Yeah, he played really well today, and I thought in general he was very much a calming influence in the back line. He was helping out Archie Gray a lot down that side as well. And when it came to him in his one-on-one duels with Dovbik, I thought a lot of the time he came out on top. So I think fair play to Ben Davis. I think he did really well, and one of our strongest players on the day. I think there was a lot of good performances in there, which is all the more disappointing that we didn't get the win over the line. But I think in general, a lot of the players did have good games. I thought Decky in spells looked really good and then dropped off in the second half. I thought Sarr as well, before he went off, was having a really strong game. Son in the first half was looking really threatening, and he got his goal and, you know, forced Sevilla into a brilliant save, and he was looking sharp as well. Brendan got his goal, took his goal really well, also had a shot cleared off the line. I think one thing I would say about Solanke is, you know, had a couple of chances to score and he didn't take them, and that'll be really disappointing, especially one of them a couple of times. I thought the 4-on-2, he led the charge there, and I thought his ball out wide to Decky wasn't the best one in terms of weight of pass, and could have done a bit better with it. And I thought as well, the two chances he scored, especially the one where he could have laid it off to Maddison and he didn't, and then he ended up taking that shot into the near post, and it just, you know, it was a fine effort but easy save for the keeper. And the header that hit the crossbar, a bit unlucky with it, but he'll be very disappointed. And he had a chance as well with the follow-up from Bennon's shot, which was clear off the line and couldn't turn it home as well. So he'll be frustrated that he didn't end the day with a goal. And his hold-up play was okay, but there was also times where Hummels was able to get the better of him as well. He had a bit of a knock, and there was a period where he was coming out second best on a couple of occasions. So I guess he'll be disappointed, because there's one thing when he's not getting the chances and we're still doing his hold-up play, and that's all fine. But when you're getting the chances and you're missing them like he did today, that's a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, and there was a lot of times, particularly in the first half, where the ball was coming to him to hold up, and it was just bouncing off him, poor touches. I think in the first half, actually, that's probably the poorest we've seen Solanke play in a Spurs shirt. Not to say it was like dreadfully, you know, he was, you know, absolutely terrible, but that's how good he's been in a Spurs shirt so far this season. And look, I don't think it was a good game for him, particularly in the first half. But Archie Gray, I want to talk about. They've sent him out to do the interview after the game, and I thought he struggled a little bit in the first half defensively, but I actually felt that Archie really grew into the game in the second half. And that cross, he had no right to get hit. It looked like it was out, and he gets the ball in, and it was right on the money for Dom Solanke, where Dom has got to be doing better. He hits the bar. But I got to give a big up to Archie Gray, because I felt like he really grew into the game.
Yeah, I think he improved once Dybala went off as well. I thought Sula and Zalewski couldn't get the same kind of enjoyment that Dybala was getting. And I thought Archie Gray definitely improved. It's been the theme for Archie Gray, I think, when he's played for Tottenham, where he starts off a bit shaky but grows into the game and grows in confidence, and all of a sudden he starts having a good game. And as you say, I was on his left foot, that cross as well. Digs out brilliantly, and Solanke should have really scored. And unfortunately for him, he hit off the bar. Yeah, I think, look, Brendan obviously extends his goal scoring run. He's now 9 goals, so he's only a goal away from double figures, and we're just out to hit December. So that's a positive. And look, at the end of the day, it is a draw. It's not the draw keeps us still in a decent position if we want to get into that top 8, albeit we are outside the top 8. But we're level on points, I think, with the team who are in 8th at the moment, and we're currently sitting in 9th. So we can If we get some positive results over the next 3 games, we will be getting in that top 8. I'm sure of it, but it's unfortunate that we could have put ourselves in 4th in a really strong position in this league table if we just would have held out for another 90 seconds, and we couldn't do that. And that'll be a real frustration for Ange Postecoglou that we couldn't manage the game really. And also the fact as well, we went quite strong tonight, so we don't really have too much excuses when it comes to resting players or anything like that into not getting the result. So we'll just have to take it on the chin and move on from it. In terms of, do we lose any momentum with that result because of, we won at City and then we drew today? I don't think so. I think we still go into Sunday confident and hopeful that we can, if we win on Sunday, not too many people are going to be talking about today's draw, but I think the draw today is just disappointing in the fact that we had it in our hands, and again we haven't been able to see it out.
Yeah, but it's an if we win on Sunday, and we're going to go into Sunday with a lot of tired legs now, which is a frustration. I mean, I could handle it if we would have won today, but we didn't win, and we put in a bit of a poor performance all in all. So it is frustrating for me that we've gone so strong and we haven't come away with the win. And you talk about being outside the top 9, and we've got 3 games left now in the Europa League. We've got Rangers away, Hoffenheim away, and Elfsborg at home, right? We all know our record away at Europe ain't anything special. We have got to go to an Ibrox who, on the back of a really good result tonight in Europe, what was it, 4-0 away to Nice or something? Mm-hmm. Unbelievable from them. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere there, as it was in Galatasaray. Are the players going to hand up the scrutiny in that situation? Away to Hoffenheim as well, who's a Bundesliga side. 2 really hard games coming up now. We need to get maximum points in these 2 games to finish in the top 8, in my opinion. We do have Elfsborg last game, so that you've got to say that's got to be 3 points. But
2 of the sides we play are 25th and 28th in the table.
So they're going to be fighting for points as well.
I mean, everyone's fighting for points, but I'm just saying they're outside. They're there probably for a reason, albeit we have lost to sides this season who are down the bottom. But you've got to hope that we can, and Rangers are a good side and they had a good win, but I don't think they're as good as Galatasaray, as much as we struggled against Galatasaray. So I think we can get the results needed to get in that top 8. How many points do we need, do we think? Probably 5 points, I would say. 2 wins out of 3, and we get in that top 8. Yeah. Elfsborg, we should be beating.
And one other.
And then we need to win, or 2 draws, essentially, out of those 2 games. So, I think I wouldn't say it's a tall order to get in the top 8. We're still right there, albeit we won our first 3 and we have now dropped points in the.
But that's the frustrating thing, because after the first 3 games, right, we're all saying top 8 is nailed on. Top 8 is nailed on. It's not so nailed on anymore.
No, it's not.
I don't know where that noise has come from.
I don't know what's going on there. It's not as nailed on as it was after the first 3 games. But I still think we're in a strong position, I think, in my opinion. I still think we'll do it. And I think it's important because you don't want those extra games, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. It's very important to finish in the top 8. But look, very frustrating day, drawing when you're winning all the way till the last kick of the game pretty much. We've got to take it on the chin. We've got to move forward. We've got a big game on the weekend against Fulham. And let's hope we can take 3 points in that game. I'm back on the watch along for that one with Amir Sim back in the stadium. But that is your instant match reaction. We're back on the fan show very, very soon. So stay on.